I had a dream that at some point on this planet, I would find a family who loved me and supported me. And even talking about that makes me want to cry. It brings up emotion. So, woo, we're having a clearing right live on the show today. So see, it doesn't necessarily stop just because you lead an internet show. You're always going to be doing this. And so as I tuned into that feeling, I'm like, what is this feeling? Like, what is this feeling of rejection and not being supported and loved? Like, where's that coming from? And it was from childhood things, from childhood experiences of not really having a family that supported and loved me, having family members write you off because they just are afraid of you. They can't handle your truth. They can't handle how you live in such a free way. This has been an experience I've had many times. And I got to a point where years ago I realized I don't need a mother or a father in physical because I have that within. My mother, my masculine, my feminine energy, it's right inside of me. It is source energy. It's source provides everything we need. But there was this part of my wounded ego self that showed itself that rose to the surface to say, hey, remember when we had that dream of having this family that actually really wanted to talk to us and cared and supported?
Whoa.
And when we saw them, they'd run and give us hugs and they'd invite us to special events and they were just so loving. That was a dream, and I had this kind of expectation, something that I would love to have happened. And, you know, because I'm speaking this, there's still a good chance it's going to happen, it's going to manifest. But in that moment, it didn't feel like it had happened. It didn't feel like it was manifesting yet. And so I was grieving, I was releasing that energy and detaching from it. That's healthy. Because if I don't do that and I just go, oh, I don't know what these feelings are. Oh, they're scaring me. Let me just push them back inside. Then I can do that, but they're going to come back up again. They are going to rise again. And what I've learned to do through meditation is to allow it. So if something's coming and I'm feeling like I'm going to cry, I don't get judgmental on myself. I don't think, oh, you suck, Tanya. What's wrong with you? You're supposed to be this perfect healer that knows all. That is craziness. And I watch people kind of put pressure on healers, put pressure on ministers, on celebrities, on anybody that's kind of living publicly and transparently and they're in the public eye. There's this pressure put on them to be something perfect, and it's bullshit. It's complete crap, and it's not helpful. And even though I see that and I see the pressure of that, I don't participate. So I feel like today speaking this is even important for any of those listening that do put pressure on others because they're in a public eye. Like, let's say Obama's having a bad day. Maybe he's at an event and he's just like, you know what, the world is just shit. And he's just feeling frustrated that day. He's like, you know, I signed up for this thing, this job. I wanted to make a difference. And God, people just are hateful. They don't appreciate anything I'm trying to do. Like, I'm just pissed. I think I'm going to just go and play golf. And then the media just takes hold of that and just terrorizes him because he's trying to go into nature and relax and just let go of all that stress. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what humans do to each other. And I'm here to mirror to you all that we're all human. Obama, me, the girl down the street, the homeless guy that I just passed today, the elderly woman, Oprah Winfrey, every one of us are human beings. We are spiritual beings in a human experience. That's more precise. Spiritual beings in a human experience. And we are all part of the whole. We are all part of this collective consciousness. We are all part of this oneness of source energy. But we're all fragmented pieces of the bigger piece. We're like drops of the ocean. But the ocean is the source energy. It's who we are. And so as we can get to that place where we stop trying to disconnect and separate and try to make ourselves superior, inferior, play victim games, play martyr roles, play this game of superiority, we will so evolve our planet so fast, and we'll really help each other have that release and that relief that we need, because we're not here to be these perfect beings, meaning that I'm not allowed to feel emotion, I'm not allowed to show my feelings. That's not the path of perfection. I feel, in essence, we already are perfect and whole. And when we focus on that wholeness, we feel permission to feel. And that's healthy. if you see someone that's going through trouble, like when I see clients, I've helped as a mentor with relationships that are having trouble. And when I observe them, if one's ego is very triggered, they're acting all tough and like they don't need them, and they're playing this game like, they could just do so much better, and they're very defensive. And we got to watch that. Even if we're going through a separation or something in our life is changing, we don't need to become this ego energy, because it's not helping us to feel. So we may feel really sad and scared of a change. And what we've learned to do, society teaches us often, is to suck it up, to be tough, go get a nicer shirt, go out clubbing, go be sexy, get all the guys' attention, drive them crazy. All of these games are not serving us. And ultimately, I passionately and powerfully feel the solution is when we come back to self. It's when we come into that meditative place of knowingness. And it amazes me how many places there are available on the planet to find resources for meditation. I offer classes in my home. I do soul coaching over the phone, over Skype. I've seen CDs available. I made a CD. If any of you want to buy one, I have one that's been created. I've seen workshops that you can go to. I've seen books written on it. The point is, there's so much information and so much assistance to help you to come back to self, but I watch how many of you don't choose it. I watch weekly. I observe it like, wow, they are struggling, they're suffering, and they ask for the wisdom. And the wiser ones really come and they stick to the path, and I salute them, because they are going to have amazing, profound change. They are going to live lives empowered and beautiful and abundant and prosperous, because they're in that alignment. But I watch how many, the majority, sadly, just goes and gets distracted very quickly. Oh, let me go. I got to go eat some fast food real quick. I got to go numb the pain. Let me go take some drugs. Let me go get drunk. Let me go, buy some new outfits or buy something. I need a new boyfriend. Okay, I need another new boyfriend. I observe it, and I'm telling you, I only speak truth. And at this point in our journey, I hope that you can really tell that I would not mislead you, and that I'm going to speak truth to you, even if it's what you don't want to hear. But the true, quickest, and swiftest path to your relief and to your healing is right here. It is right here. And it will always be right here. You will always find your deepest truth and wisdom here. Even a healer like myself can guide you and assist you. And if we're an aligned healer, we better be guiding you right here. If a healer is guiding you to just be codependent to them, and that you need all this stuff and you need to buy all these crystals and you need, pay attention, because in essence, the truth is simple. It's all within. And so these other forms of modalities and tools, those can be fun. Like, I love crystals. They're beautiful and I like to play with them. But I don't feel that if I don't have them, I can't be powerful. If I'm, somewhere out of town and someone's like, I would like to have a healing with you. Can you help me right now? Yes, I can. Because Source and I are always together, and you and Source are always together. So let's connect on that oneness, on that wholeness together, and let's create some powerful magic. That is truth. All this other stuff is beautiful and we can play with it, but just be mindful if others are enslaving you with their words and their wisdom, or are they liberating you with their words and wisdom? And ultimately, your choices always will come back to you. They'll always come back to self. Any other stuff coming in, Amnon? I encourage you guys to ask questions, so let Amnon know if you have a question or even something you'd like to share that you can relate to with today's topic.
No, there's I'm talking with Ron, but nothing really is going on.
Okay, ask Ron what he would like to contribute, because he probably has something to say. What's Ron got? And I'll keep reading, and then you let me know when I'm done reading this paragraph. Okay, so anyways, we're back on talking about doctors and scientists trying to find cures without taking consideration of vibrational alignment. That is so huge in where we're evolving to. If you're going to a doctor and you just want them to fix you and give you a drug, you are in trouble. If we look at the planet right now, our country is in trouble. Do you know how many people are addicted to drugs and prescribed drugs and they're suffering and it is not bringing them release. Do you know how many people get given a drug to help them? My father was given a drug for depression, and a week later, maybe a week, 2 weeks later, he killed himself. And people don't want to talk about this stuff, but this shit's real, and it happens to families, and it impacts families in amazing ways. And we gotta wake up. Like, we really need to start waking up and speaking truth and really taking accountability. If you're having trouble, and then my sister was joking with me, we were watching TV because we were watching some show, and it was like all this stuff with different ailments and different, if you take this in, my sister's talking to me, she's like, Tanya, it's so crazy, like these medicines and medications that come up, and they'll be like, you know, may cause bleeding, may cause suicide, make this, that. And I was like, exactly, I've totally seen that same thing where you might have like low back pain, and they're like telling you to take some medicine, and it might make you kill yourself. And people will take it. It is crazy. And so we've got to start tuning into the fact that we really have to be accountable for our own stuff. And we could go out there and get any pill of choice. I grew up with a mother who is completely over-medicated and afraid of every disease. And like, it was amazing to observe that as a child in her movie. But I never had to do that. And so some of you, if you've grown up around parents that are very hypochondriac, they're very, you know, they've always been sick, and they're like, go to the doctor, what is your diseases in your family? I encourage you not to tune into that. And this is why, not because you should be in denial, but I encourage you to be in your alignment of wholeness all the time. And if the form comes along, like, do you have this? Did your grandmother have this? You know what? Maybe your grandmother did, and that was her journey. Your grandmother had her own specific journey. You do not need to be the bearer of her journey. And for so long, generations of people have carried the burden of their ancestors as if, oh, grandma had that problem, then mom had that problem, now it's my turn. What the crap? Like, we do not need to do that. Now, many of you are doing that. And if you want to tune into that, you may start to really discover some amazing things that could help liberate you and help free you from that energetic pattern. But if you want to stay in denial, that's fine. Like, we all have the freedom to choose where we would like to be. But I encourage you to tune into that and just to explore that for a while, of how maybe we are encouraged to continue cycles. Maybe we are encouraged to continue with suffering. And maybe, just maybe, all the stuff happening on the planet and all these angels that are channeling in and all this magical stuff that's happening is because it's time and that there is a great intervention. Archangel Ariel told me recently when I was working with one of my yoga teacher students in our teacher training, she said that an amazing time is coming to the planet of an intervention, that the angels are here to intervene on our behalf, because humans, we think we know it all. We think that we know what we're doing, and we're at the end of our rope, and we're calling out for help. And energetically, if we get honest, many of us know this is true, but we keep just looking for more rope instead of going inside, asking Source to support us and to bring us answers. Maybe it means we're going to have to change our own personality. Some of you are so attached to your personality, like, I'm this personality, I'm that, I was raised this way. All of these boxes, all of these labels are not serving you. If you say, oh, I'm autistic, or I'm bipolar, or I'm ADHD, or whatever, I'm a certain personality type, any of that is you are claiming and attaching yourself to that. Now, the truth of yourself is much bigger. It's fullness, it's source energy. So now you're taking all that source energy potential and you're saying, it can only show up like this. Like, this is the only way my source energy can show up. And this becomes really tight. We start to feel very burdened, very pressurized, and that tension will start to wear us out, and it's to get our attention. If you remember the show we did on the gift of pain, pain is coming to get your attention because you created this tight box. And as Ariel said, you want to free yourself, you want to have relief, then free yourselves, peek out from the very boxes of enslavement that you've created. Archangel Ariel's words right there. And that we are here to save ourselves. The angels are here to help us, but they're not here to do our work for us. I'm an angelic healer. I assist people, and I am not here to do